But here, you could grow year round.
Oh yeah.
So much food.
So much food.
Yeah, so much food. It's
Gimana
just-
tuh Rivan? Kita bisa nanam sepanjang tahun,
Yeah.
tapi pertanian kita gitu-gitu aja.
Yeah.
What do you think they can help us in what field?
Yeah.
I want to know about your government. Do you government? Why you laugh?
Eits, subscribe dulu.
Mereka datang ke Aceh dalam rangka kerjasama ya antara lembaga mereka dengan lembaganya Rivan. Nanti mereka akan bercerita sendiri kan. So we start with question ya. What do you do in Aceh?
Oh, what do I do in Aceh?
Yeah, in Aceh.
Oh, what am I doing?
Iya.
Oh, so we are here as reciprocal exchange fellows with the YSEALI program, which is a U.S. State Department program to support young Southeast Asian leaders.
Okay.
Our organization, the Farm Alliance of Baltimore, hosted Rivan Rinaldi as a fellow this summer, 2 months in Baltimore with us, learning about urban agriculture. And so Alison and I are reciprocal exchange fellows to share the experience here in Aceh.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, please. Maybe you want to add?
I mean, that's a good summary, but yeah, we're excited to be here to share knowledge and learn together.
Mungkin Rivan bisa menambahkan gimana ceritanya sampai terjadi kerjasama antara ya Rivan dengan abang dan kakak ini.
Okay. In English or in Bahasa?
Free.
Okay, free, yeah. So I think in English, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So like Denzel already talked like before, I was joined the YSEALI program, and then we applied for the reciprocal project exchange. Like after I finished my fellow in the US, and then
In what year your fellowship?
last year,
Last year.
spring I think. Yeah, it's
spring.
for it's
July, summer.
May to July. July come back. Yeah. And then there are only 6 of 26 fellows that join this, and then only 6 that get this opportunity to to invite the host from the US and then visit to Aceh, especially because I'm from Aceh, and then I already built my own NGO called Rumah Pangan Aceh.
Rumah Pangan Aceh.
Rumah Pangan Aceh.
Okay.
So it's like make strongest things that I can be selected for this program. Even before I only write ideas about it, and then finally when I return from this program, like I can make it happen
So fast.
so fast.
Oh,
It was it moves quick.
So that's why we invite both of them here. Also, like we hope we can get like support from the Farm Alliance of Baltimore, especially for my NGO or for Aceh community. We need support from them. Like maybe later in the future we can collaborate. So that's why it's very good things to start.
Okay. I think your NGO is work in agriculture
Yes.
field, yeah?
Yes.
So, what do you think about agriculture right now?
I mean, agriculture remains the foundation of any society because we all have to eat. We all enjoy eating.
Of course.
And we had some very good meals while we were here in Aceh.
Yeah.
But the state of agriculture is progressive in some ways, and in other ways needs some change. Alison and I have worked in small scale agriculture now for going on 12, 15 years in Baltimore City, and we've seen now with 2 visits. This is our second visit to Indonesia. That there's a lot of potential, a lot of opportunity for small scale agriculture in the country, and very excited. We've been very excited about what we've seen in Aceh, many of the projects that we've seen that Rivan has taken us to. Very exciting, and mirror a lot of the progressive, innovative practices that we teach, that our NGO teaches in Baltimore.
Do you see any difference between Baltimore and Aceh in terms of agriculture work? Maybe in technology, in mindset, or whatever.
It seems like what we've kind of gathered is, it seems like the biggest difference is the after harvest, like the sales. So we mostly sell directly to, like for small scale farms, mostly sell directly to consumer or restaurant. And it seems like here there's a much longer supply chain. And what that does is it just limits the amount of money that the farmer can make. Farming is hard in the US too. It's not super profitable unless you're like a large commercial production. So it is always a challenging profession, and farmers need like every penny they can get.
Yeah.
So Rivan, what do you think they can help us in what field?
I think there are 2 points that I think right now that they can help us. First, about the sustainable agriculture implementation, because mostly in US, especially for the urban farming, all of them are regenerative and also organic. So we want to help the farmer to do the transformation from the conventional system to be more sustainable at the first time that we need. Second, about marketing strategy of the farmers. Like Alison said, like this very long chain, from the farmer to the consumer, because we have the middleman here. Right? So in the US, mostly for the small scale farmers, they are actively sell it to the farmer markets.
No middleman.
No middleman.
Yeah, no middleman.
Like I grow, you buy.
Yes.
Done.
I come to your farmer and then I buy.
Yes, sometimes they come to your farm, or there's a model that's pretty popular in America called CSA that was actually founded in Japan, where many families support the farm with the faith that the farmer will produce vegetables throughout the season. And so families pay up front. Many families pay up front, and then the farmer gets the money that they need to start their season, and then they're
The pre-order.
harvest. They essentially pre-order, and then their harvest they give back to the family.
Pre-order.
Like a contract farming.
Almost like contract farming.
Continue.
Community supported agriculture.
CSA, community support agriculture. So like I think it's a very good system like that we can implement here, but we need like a lot of information from you. You'll be the mentor. Maybe like for example, especially in regenerative agriculture, like we don't know about what is the good fertilizer, especially for organic one, or also for the pesticide, but right about that one, because when we visited a lot of farms, the farmer didn't know about what is organic thing for it, and then Denzel can deliver it like, oh, you can use this. It's very good for us, something like that.
I watched on television because I never go to America. You have very large area for farming, right? So I think in Indonesia we also have large farm too, but here we normally pay many people to work. That's very costly, I think. So in America, I see you use mechanical system. What do you think about that?
Well, that's kind of a complex conversation, because the farms that we work are very small, and they rely on human labor, and so it may be, you say one acre of land, maybe 1 or 2 people work, but then the common view of farms in America is large farms, but that's uncommon across the landscape, and especially very uncommon for us as urban agriculture. And so the larger farms, they employ many people to work, places like California, Florida, in the north, like Oregon, Washington, Wisconsin. They employ a lot of people, but they don't pay very well because the value of food in the U.S. market is much lower. And the businesses that own those farms, or the farmers that own those farms, they charge very high prices. So there is a balance to using mechanization, and I think even at small scale agriculture here in Indonesia could benefit from some of that. But there's also lots of people here who are willing to work, have very strong work ethic. You can use hand tools and be very productive, and we've seen a lot of places. I mean, the farms that we've gone to in and around Aceh have been very productive, solely by people power, and also in Jakarta too. So there's lots of opportunity for people to learn farming practices and use human power. Human power. Yeah, because machinery is expensive, and then it's expensive to maintain, and gasoline is also expensive.
And
So-
most of the mechanized agriculture in the U.S. is like 3 crops. It's like monocropping, so not a diverse growing operation, but just corn, soy, and wheat. Yeah.
3
3 main crops. So,
Okay, 3 main crops.
but like for a more diversified farm, vegetables, fruits, that's when you need like the labor, like hand labor.
You can't. Farming has to have labor. It has to have human labor, even as much machine have been developed to farm. You always need human. Yeah.
Kalau menurut Rivan gimana? Berarti kita still need more people to work. Or we have to reduce number of people to work because this is cost.
Yeah, like we need to make a differentiation between the small scale and the large scale farming.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yes.
like especially for the large scale farming in the US, I think there's a lot of mechanization.
Yes.
Yeah, but for the small scale, they also have, but like still with the hand tractor, but they still have.
Yeah.
But
Still
it's
have
needed.
mechanization, but
still
smaller.
but
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah.
But for the biggest farm, like what Alison said, for the soy, for the wheat, and the last one for the corn. So there are many mechanization, but not too many people, right, work in this area, right? Not too much.
Not
right?
too much, yeah.
Because everything is mechanization.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Aceh, maybe we can make the system like that one. I have thinking that a rice field, you know what? We have a problem with the yields because the yield's very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you like the highest yield that the farmers can achieve like only 6 tons per hectare. But in the Vietnam, in the Thailand, they already get like 17 or almost 20 ton per hectare.
Yeah.
So
I'm really interested to know
Yeah.
why.
yeah, so maybe there are a problem with because like the farmer mostly in here is uneducated, and also I think in agriculture there are 2 points that we need to think. First about the seeds, the high quality seed. Second about the management, right? When we irrigate it, when we give the fertilizer, when we do the weedings.
How you manage pests.
How to manage it. Like it's a potential yield, but actual yield in Aceh. We can make a differentiation between yield. So I think maybe we need to take one example first. Like if the governments agree that we take like 5 hectare or maybe 10 hectare to be example, everything is a mechanization, same management. So it might be good things.
Yeah, well, to Alison's point, that's the importance of innovation. We do a thing for a very long time, and we think that's the best way to do it. It's actually important to be critical of how you do a thing, and is there a way to improve it? Is there a way to use less inputs? Is there a way to use less water? Is there a way to use less labor and increase your yields? And so one of the common conversations that we've had with the farmers is maybe experiment a little bit, because there's lots of research, there's been lots of innovation in small scale agriculture across the world. And there's probably something in Vietnam or in Japanese rice
Yeah.
cultivation that they've learned,
Yeah.
and that knowledge can be transferred back to Indonesia. Or for us in America, we've
Yeah.
learned certain varieties, or we've developed some innovation in vegetable production that we could share back at this scale.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about farm, I imagine normally when I talk about agriculture, I talk with the old people,
Yeah.
with a farmer. But now this is a modern guy. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
people have good knowledge. Yeah. So I think if many young, I think especially young people, they involved in farming, I think maybe our farm will be better. Eh?
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. And I think that's been the value of the progression of agriculture in the U.S. In 2006, 2007, around the time our organization was created, there was this movement of young people, myself included, Alison, many other people, but across the country, who recognized the importance of knowing a farmer, directly connecting with the farmer, and then some people taking that professional step to become a farmer, or learning what it means to grow.
Yeah.
And then this became essentially a new career path that
new
when we
career.
were in high school, wasn't even anything that we considered, because farming was always a family business, and it happened a way we didn't see it. But the urban agriculture movement that we saw in the U.S. has been inspiring, and has kind of now been going for about a decade.
But I think a lot of it is about self-sufficiency
Yes.
and
Okay.
having control over your food
Yes.
source. And I think that empowered a lot of young people to be motivated to join this field of work, because we were seeing a lot of challenges with getting groceries and food, and the government doesn't always do what you need, right? And so people were like, let's take this into our own hands, and food is power. Having control over that is strength.
How do you think, Rivan? It's possible young people here, they become a farmer, like Denzel said, a career path. Yeah?
Yes, I think it's possible, because we need, it's what we did right now. We need to make sure that the farmer is a good job for the future. Yeah, because now people think that farmer is not cool things.
Right.
It's it's what we call it's low level
Yes.
work, because
Right.
in the past, mostly farmer, there's no farmer become a rich person except they have very large farm,
Right. Right.
what we call it, oil palm or nutmeg something.
Yeah.
But now we need to make a movement about it, because for the future we need to create more food for the people.
Absolutely.
So all people need food, right? So the very important things that we need to do to support the youngster is with the innovation,
Right. Right.
to make the works easier,
Yeah.
but with high yields,
Yeah.
and then good income from it.
It's just a cultural shift that has to happen really across the
Globally.
globe.
Yeah.
That there's value in food, and then more specifically, there's value in food production, because we all have to eat.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be a farmer, and it's a very difficult job. You have to know so many different things.
Yeah.
Botanist, chemist, mechanic, plumber,
Economy.
economic,
Economic
marketer,
business.
business, distribution,
Yeah.
so many things,
Communications.
communication, right? You have to know all of these things to be a successful farmer. And that's what we should be teaching the children, to inspire them to be like, oh, I want to work in the food system, because the food system we all have to eat every
Yes.
single day.
Yeah, of course.
And there's so many things that we use every day that requires agriculture, even down to the fabric in our clothing. But our education systems across the globe don't teach children the value of agriculture, when it is in fact the basis of any society.
I watch it is again about movie, because we know America from movie.
Yeah. Right.
Mostly,
Yeah.
I watch a cowboy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a ranch. Normally life in ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The what's a horse.
Cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
it means a long story of agriculture in America. So you have long story about farm in America. Of course, you better lah than Indonesia. So do you think Indonesia have to take long time before to get good established farm?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I think that if you are comparing it to American history, a lot of the practices that people are using now that we've learned, that we've actually come back to because they're the traditional practices that like the native people of our land were using, because that was actually what was sustainable and productive and profitable.
Right.
So we're kind of we're like innovating and moving forward, but we're also not forgetting that like our the ancestors, the people that were on this land originally, really had the expertise.
They had already figured it out.
They had it figured out because they were growing in small spaces. They were growing lots of crops. They were rotating things. They were using
petroleum,
regenerative practices.
They weren't taking all of these resources from the planet to then use on the So
we're we're looking forward, but we're also looking back. So I think in terms of like the history, that's something to consider is like what practices do the elders know or have been using that could be helpful to apply to modern day. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's not good,
Yeah.
Our ancestor was farming, right?
Yes.
But our farming not very developed like America.
Yeah, but it is though. But it is. I mean, what has developed is a new mindset that isn't necessarily Indonesian.
Commodity crops.
There's commodity crops. There's inputs that have been that were developed in the Western world that have now been given to all farmers, and also sold a lie that these products are better when in fact they're not, because they had to be manufactured somewhere else with some outside ingredients. They cost a lot of money. There's so many layers of business and commerce that corrupt the practice of growing food for your family, your community, in your surrounding area. So there's a lot of that just needs to get stripped away. And yeah, this culture was a farming culture, but now there's all of this other influx and influence of product and layers of complication and politics and business that have now made it very difficult to just farm, to just grow food. But y'all farm. I mean, y'all got papaya, mango all the time.
And you're like managing pests. And
And also like in here we have like
long season.
You can grow lots of food all the time, 365 days a year. Like we can't even do that in Baltimore. We have a very, very short season, and in some other places in U.S. the season is even shorter. We can only grow basically from March through October. But here, you could grow year round. So much food. Yeah. So much food.
Gimana tuh, Rivan? Kita bisa nanam sepanjang tahun, tapi pertanian kita gitu-gitu aja.
Yeah. So, like I say, like we need to cultivating with our knowledge. Yeah. So not just cultivate it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I don't know, like if Indonesia also have the short season, what happened in Indonesia if the culture, if the agriculture system is like this. So that's why we need to, like Denzel say, agriculture is a lot of background there. So that's why there are also professor in agriculture, right? So there's also university in agriculture. It's not simple.
Yeah, it's not simple.
Yeah, because we think about how to make agriculture to be profitable.
Right.
But in Aceh, Yeah, it's not profitable.
It's
I-
not. It's
yeah.
not profitable anywhere.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like agriculture, but
The
agriculture
profit
should be
isn't
profit,
the profit isn't going to the farmer.
and
That's
the profit
problem.
isn't going to the farmer.
The profit is going into the larger system.
Into irrigation supplier,
Yeah.
into fertilizer supplier, into truck driver, into middleman.
So it's profitable. We've created a system where it's profitable for this like huge, large web,
Exactly.
but not actually. And
The
even
grower.
little piece, every little piece. Of
Every
the
little
way.
piece. Everybody gets a little piece.
Or maybe in Indonesia we have to establish manufacture to put additional value in agriculture crop.
I mean, that would also be helpful too. I mean, it's because a lot of the products I would imagine that farmers need aren't produced here, but also you don't really need it. I mean, there's plenty of food waste that could be composted and turned into an amendment for soil.
If you have a long growing season, you can like leave the soil bare and rotate your production.
Crop
Yeah.
rotation. There's so much food that can be grown that probably don't get grown here, but are now part of the diet.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's lots of bakeries. We've been to lots of bakeries everywhere, but how much wheat is being grown in Indonesia?
Yeah.
That's I'm sure there could be some innovation in grain production to support the local economy and not have to import so much.
Yeah, so like this is very good like innovation. We can use the cover crop when there's no people grow something in the rice field, because like there are two system in Indonesia. We have like rain-fed for rice and also irrigation, but mostly when the drought season, like the what we call it, the soil, the land is
Bare.
bare.
So
So
Cover
there's no cover crop.
I know, but you
They
need
don't
to cover it.
Just cover it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it should be covered. Like it can improve the soil organic matter.
Absolutely.
And then provided from leaching and also
Absolutely.
from aeration.
Add nutrients.
And
Yeah.
you could add biomass.
Yeah,
I mean, even a crop like something like that,
Yeah.
like buckwheat,
Yeah.
which is very fast growing, could be harvested.
yeah,
You leave the matter
Yeah.
on the ground and turn it in, and now you rebuilt the soil and it's ready for the rice crop for the next season.
yeah. Maybe you can also tell information like even you only do the cultivation from the spring to late autumn, but you need to do something with the soil, right? During the winter, you need to do preparation.
Yeah, some sort of preparation, or just like Alison said, it needs to stay covered.
Yeah.
And the greatest benefit of it being covered would be with a crop that's going to give some nutrients back. So
Yeah.
either a nitrogen fixing legume
Yeah.
that you can terminate and then cultivate back into the soil,
Yeah.
and it essentially serves as a free fertilizer.
Yeah.
But also the soil stays covered, so you don't lose your topsoil.
Yeah.
It doesn't wash away.
It doesn't wash away. Yeah, when the rainy season starts. So yeah, that's an easy one. But then also just even rotating
Yeah.
crops, where you grow one crop that maybe extracts a lot of nitrogen, a leafy green,
Yeah.
or your seasons for your peppers.
What you said is very interesting for me because you mentioned many chemical substance. I want to know about your government. Do you governments? Why you laugh? I want to know about your government. I think every government said we support farm, but in the fact maybe different, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like in Indonesia, our government gives subsidies, but in the fact it's very variable. Some people get subsidies, some people don't get, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
How in America?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah. I mean, if you are a farmer in the American aesthetic, what that means is that you own a lot of land, many thousands of acres. You're growing one of 4 commodity crops, and there are subsidies from the federal government, from central government, to pay you for owning land, not paying taxes because your land is for agricultural use, and inflated prices for commodity that are going to go into an industrialized food system, generally for animal feed. But for smaller farmers, they may or may not own their land. They may rent. But the costs that are required for you to grow vegetables or flowers or textiles or natural dye, the government doesn't provide any subsidy for that. It's been very recent in that we found in our work that the smallest level of government, either the province level or the city level, has some sort of program to help with innovative, regenerative practices. But that's really, really recent. I mean, we've been doing this for like the last 15 years, and it's been really, really recent that there's some access for small farmers at like the 1 acre scale or to even 20 acre, because even at 20 acres, that's considered a small farm in the US, that there's some opportunity for you to get some government money.
And I think some of that shift came from out of COVID. You know, we were talking about times, and that really highlighted the global reliance, you know, the global food system and how much exporting and importing was happening. And so, you know, our government was like, oh, we need to incentivize local agriculture, local production. You know, just a little bit. It was like the light, you know, a new idea, so that we can have, again, like food security and control, you know, over some products that are produced in the United States.
Yeah. That's good.
Rivan, maybe you can tell about our government programs right now. Our new president, he has a very good name, like security food program for entire Indonesia. Maybe Rivan, you can.
Yeah, because there's a new elected, but like this very good program, but I think we need to think a different way to produce food rather than using our forests, deforestation.
Oh yeah,
and
no more.
Throwing
Yeah,
back.
no, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So like we need to think about intensification, how to create a lot of foods with the small area. Like we need to think about the productivity. To double it.
Yeah.
So I get the new insight when I was in Netherlands. Compared to Netherlands is the second country that can produce a lot of food compared to America. America number one because they have a large farm. But in terms of the 1 hectare productivity, Netherlands is number
Netherlands
one.
is incredibly productive.
And
So-
lots to learn in Japan too.
Japan.
Yeah, so like we need to think about that ones. Like how to improve the productivity with the small, maybe like the science. We have a lot of resources, people like doing it, and then it's very important things. And then also we also need to think about the policy of the farmer as well, Denzel. Because like if we let the farmers doing the same things, not think about the prosperity.
Right.
So that's the reason why the people in Indonesia, especially for the youngsters, don't want to take this job because there's no prosperity being a farmers.
Right.
So compared to the Netherlands and also a big farm in the US, the rich person is farmers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I still remember when my friend asked me about what's your father job, so you can study in Netherlands because like it's very expensive for the international people. I said that because my mother a farmers. Wow, this is the reason, because a farmer is very rich, but not in here, right? Not in here because small scale something. So I went there because I got a scholarship. Because of the policy in Indonesia, also we need to think about it, like to support the farmers. Not only give them facilities, but also in law. We have like law, like the government need to think about the marketing things. For example, we have like food distribution to give additional nutrition for the people. This is part of the President Prabowo project. I think it would be better, a good way to support the farmers.
Yeah.
We can buy everything, the raw material, right, for this program, supported by the farmer directly. There's no agent, there's no middleman, there's no people that control it. So the farmer will get a good price too.
Yeah.
So I think it's good way, but we need to think about the policy, about the system. Like how to make farmer directly. Or maybe there's one people, NGO or something that
In between.
in between.
Yeah.
Not take a lot of profit on it.
Yeah.
Not mafia.
Right. That's the thing. It's like the values have to change. Like the policies of the state can't change until the values change. You know, like we can't continue to believe that cutting trees down to sell them for lumber to turn it into farmland is an unlimited resource. We all know that land is the most limited, and we can't continue to cut down trees to turn it into more farmland. We all know that, but the government continues to do it, knowing these are all brilliant people. Like, this is not lost on anybody that the one thing the earth is not continuing to create is land. So if you just keep cutting down trees and turning it into farmland or turning it into grazing land or turning it into housing, at some point we're going to run out of land. So where's the food going to come from? Space? You know?
From Mars, maybe.
Right.
There is no B plane,
Yeah, there's no B
B.
plan. Yeah, there's no plan B. Yeah, exactly. There's no. So we got to go back to plan A. You know, because we can clearly see that what is happening is detrimental to all of us, to every single one of us, down to the smallest amoeba in the ocean, to the most famous. You know, it doesn't matter. If you're president of the United States, you all of us are affected. Like, at some point, we're going to run out.
Okay. You share many insight. It's very, very good insight. I hope our audience will watch this podcast full. Not because sometimes people in Indonesia they watch
it's like cut.
Oh yeah. In America too, it's no different. Attention span very small
because it is very rare conversation.
Yes, absolutely. They like, who these weirdos? Where they come from?
Thank you for your time here. It's very valuable, I think. Terima kasih untuk rekan Sagoe TV. Kita ketemu lagi di lain kesempatan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sama-sama.
Terima kasih.
Jika video ini bermanfaat untuk Anda, silakan subscribe, like, dan nyalakan loncengnya.